is Thursday, May 10th. I've had this trip planned for probably about a month now, and what I'm doing is I'm going up basically into the foothills of the Sawtooth, following a river, and I'm going to be fishing some of its tributaries. So tomorrow I'm probably going to go about 4 miles up one of the creeks. I'm going to fish and try to get some awesome trout. I just got my very first view, well, first look of the main branch of the river, and it is flowing beautifully. We're going to be going about 26 miles up a dirt road. I've got one spot that I'm going to stop and fish on the way there. It's a spot that I stop every time I come up here because it usually starts my trip right, and I almost always catch one, but I'm not going to jinx myself. Most of the time that I stop here, I end up catching a bull trout, which is the state fish of Idaho, and it's also protected, so you can't keep them. They're catch and release exclusively. Trout's a trout, fish's a fish, and you'll have a happy Rick. We'll catch you guys at the first spot, and if I don't catch you at the first spot because I don't catch anything, then we will see you at the second spot. Stopped at my first spot, and it's where like two creeks converge on the main arm of the river. It was flowing really good, but I didn't want to spend too much time there. I literally stopped and made like 15 casts, said, all right, I need to get up and hit in the dirt road, because the spot that I would like to camp tonight is about 24 miles up the dirt road. So it's about 6:40 right now, and the spot I want to go to is like about a half mile up another side dirt road that dead ends, gets me a little bit away from people. Let's give it a shot. Where the blacktop ends. So I may have to break out the fly rod. Well, I knew I was gonna have to anyways. You get to a point in this river where it becomes, I forget the name of it, or what they call it. You can only fish with barbless hooks. Really good fly fishing area because of that. I'll be doing a mixture of spin casting and fishing with barbless. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna pull in and taking a video. Made it to the spot where I want to camp. There are tire tracks, but I don't think I'm seeing any fresh ones. So I made it to the spot I'm gonna call home for the night. No, Riptide, you just had a bath yesterday. You're looking a little dirty. It's a good thing. So I'm currently just getting my camp set up. I'm probably just gonna vehicle camp for this evening, because I plan to like pack up everything and throw it back into the vehicle in the morning. Head up the river that's over there, which I'll show you in a second. And I'm gonna have a fire, probably chill by the fire for most of the night. Just unpacking the vehicle right now. Got my case of beer, got my cooler full of ice, my spare gas in case I need it. I've got my rods out, I've got my waders drying off, and my vest is over there. Also gotta dry out my shoes. It's probably one of my best tips, honestly. They do make expensive wading boots, but I'm a cheapo, and I literally go to Walmart, buy cheap sneakers that have like a decent grip. These I've had for a couple of years, so they're starting to wear down. But I just use these, honestly. First things first, gotta crack cold. Cerveza. We'll see what the area looks like for fishing in the morning. That looks like one hell of a buck rub. Curious to see if I can spot any like little trout sitting in these pools. I see some water striders on the water as well. So I've actually seen a couple of moose up here. And I've also seen bears. There's tons of mule deer and elk as well. We passed a bunch of mule deer on the way up. No elk though. This looks like good fishing. That hole right there. Yeah, that hole right there looks really good. I'm gonna have to fish that in the morning, like first thing, first light. Fish again now, but it's already 8:44. Sun's about to go down in about 15 minutes, so I gotta start collecting a little bit of firewood. It's supposed to get down to like 38 tonight here. If I remember correctly, I can always check my Onyx. I can go up several miles, and then it does connect with another road up there. And then there's a little bit of private property for a bit. Either way, it looks really good. Got some wood. Carry this piece back, and I'll put down my beer. We'll collect some firewood, and I'll show you guys how I start a fire. I do it pretty traditional. I'm pretty old school. Maybe teach you something. All right, let's go get some firewood. Isn't that a strange dirt pattern? Pretty freaking cool, though. Need a rock. That's the part of it that's pretty wet. If I get my fire going hot enough, it won't really matter. I'd always start by moving, if there's a fire pit, everything out of the way, kind of getting down to the bottom. You can add all this back in, but it'll also help insulate your fire later. And then this is birch bark. I have a bunch of this in my backpacking bag, and there's a bunch of birch trees here, so I'll probably collect more while I'm here. But you start, make a little nest. I'm gonna put that right in the center. That is a nest. Then take some small dry sticks and twigs, set them to the side. The smaller the better, because you kind of want to build up in size as you go. And then this is a ferro rod. This happens to be a Zippo brand one that I've had for a couple of years. But you open it, strike downwards in a downwards motion like you're scraping off a piece of wood. And there we go. Add your stick slowly. And the log house is basically building a square, and then you continue to build a square. If you've ever made Lincoln logs as a kid, you'll get the idea pretty quickly. And if you have more birch bark, you can always tuck it into the middle. That birch bark that I had is super dry, and I've had it for a long time. Now you're starting to see my log house. And then on top of your log house, I usually start to build a teepee. Log house, and then teepee. That's my way to build it. And then from there, you have a fire that lasts all night long. And I've been building fires like this for a very, very long time. No, I was never a Boy Scout. I'm fine with just being a kid that goes in the woods by himself. So that was my quick little how to make a fire. I can do a more in-depth video that does a little bit more step-by-step, and I'll take better shots. For now, I'm gonna go collect a little bit more firewood. That way I've got a good amount for the night. I've got a couple all-nighter logs, and there's even an all-nighter log that somebody left on here previously. I'm starting to be able to see some stars. I have my 2 all-night logs on the outside, then my fire in the center. I don't even know if I can be seen right now. Kind of just been listening to the silence. That's like part of what makes me me. Spending time in the woods by myself, spending time fishing by myself, and being 25 miles up a dirt road from the nearest town, just in national forest. I'm parked on a dirt road right now, off of another dirt road. It doesn't really matter to me. It's the whole solitude that kind of makes all this worthwhile. And I haven't gotten to do this in a while. I went to college for the last 2 years. We'll get into that in a bit. I want to start a segment / video series / potentially podcast where it's me in the woods by myself or with whoever I take with me, sitting around the campfire and having a discussion. I think having that human connection is super important nowadays. I feel like we're starting to lose it. There's not much genuine, spontaneous conversation that like you hear too much anymore. I know that it is there. There's not as much of it as I would like, honestly. There's too much, look at this on my phone. If it's something that you did, I enjoy seeing it. If it's something that somebody else experienced, I don't connect with it. So part of like me filming again is I want to encourage people to get in the outdoors or even just talk to each other again. Have your own experiences instead of like living through a lens and experiencing life that way. So that's why I want to start the Campfire Chat series.